students, this is the part 2 of geography chapter 1 resources. Okay, this is the part 2. Okay, so I was talking about the renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources, I told you, okay, I give example. Non-renewable resources which are very which cannot be renewed, okay, which cannot be renewed, and their stock is limited. Okay, so for example the natural gas, the petroleum, the coal, okay, and we can say like the fossil fuels, okay, so they are non-renewable, okay, because in practical sense they take millions of years to form, okay, and under the soil, so they are non-renewable resources. So renewable and non-renewable, okay, so that's why we have to be very, very wise and careful, very judicious about the use of resources. Okay, to come to the human-made resources. Okay, human-made resources, as I told you before also, human-made resources are those resources which are modified by human beings, which are developed by human beings. Okay, so they are basically derived from, okay, in the primary in the primary stage, they are derived from the natural natural resource, and then they develop it to make human-made resources. As I gave you example in the part 1 of this duster, okay, how this duster once was a part of natural resource and it has now become a human-made resource. Okay, so anything like, see, the bicycle, the car, the television that you have in your house, okay, the sofa that you sit on, the bed, okay, even the glasses, everything that you see around, okay, that have been made by people are human-made resources. Okay, now to come to the human-made resources, we have to also understand that humans themselves, okay, humans themselves are resource. Okay, why? Because if human beings, okay, are not there, okay, if human beings aren't there to use the natural resources, then these natural resources have no meaning at all. Okay, so human beings themselves are resources in the first place. Okay, so human beings themselves are resources because it is us human beings who actually make use of the natural resources, who actually develop the natural resources into human-made resources. Okay, so we human beings are resources. Okay, now let's also talk about in your book, okay, you will see that there's also something about human resource development. Okay, so human resource development, what is human resource development? Human resource development means human beings develop the resource. Okay, how? By means of the knowledge, the skill, the training, the education, the technology, okay, and various other infrastructures and logistics that we have. Okay, so human beings keep developing the resources. Okay, so by use of their expertise, knowledge and skill. Okay, so human beings develop, okay, modify, okay, that's human-made resource development. Okay, now the last part, okay, the last part of the chapter is now the conservation of resources. Okay, the conservation of resources. Okay, now why are we talking about conservation of resources? Okay, so conservation, okay, by conservation, what do we mean by conservation? Okay, so conservation, okay, means to conserve. Okay, so in a very basic sense, conservation also means protection or preservation. We have to conserve. Okay, we cannot afford to become very careless about the use of resources. We have to be very wise and very judicious, very prudent. We have to be very careful about the use of these resources. We have to conserve them. Okay, why we should conserve them? Why are we talking about the conservation of resources? Because, as I told you, resources, be it natural or human-made, okay, they are very important for us, for our livelihood, for our development. Okay, even they are necessary for the development of society and the country, of the nation. Okay, resources are very important. Now what happens is, if we are very careless about the use of resources, okay, if we are not careful, if we are just using resources just without any proper measures, and we are just being, very randomly, and we are using them, and we are using them excessively, randomly, okay, then what happens is, natural resources, even though these natural resources are renewable, what happens is they are renewable and non-renewable. But natural resources which are renewable, what happens is, because of the faulty use of resources by human beings, okay, what happens is those resources, the quality may become bad. Okay, so for example, see the quality of the air, the pollution, okay, the pollution that the people in Delhi face in India. Okay, so such like things. Okay, so even the natural resources which are renewable, their quality may become bad. Okay, and it may create other problems. Okay, and non-renewable resources, you know, like if you are using them excessively, what happens is, once there, I told you, okay, so when its quantity goes down, if its quantity goes down, okay, it's almost impossible to again have the quantity back, okay, because it almost takes millions of years and we are not going to live, okay, so that long. So the overuse, the misuse, okay, the random use of resources and using them in a negative manner can lead to the depletion of resources, and then the degradation of resources. The quality may go down, the volume, the quantity may go down, depletion of resources and degradation of resources may happen, and that will cause ecological problem in the environment, okay, and that will also cause economic problem, the social problem. So we must conserve our resources. Okay, now how can we conserve the resources? Okay, now to conserve the resources, we have to make sure that we do something which is called sustainable development. Okay, sustainable development, and this is a very important phrase, and you have to understand this, because in the class 9, class 10, okay, up to class 10, you are going to come across this word again and again. Okay, so conservation can be done through sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is, we are using resources. We are using resources at the present. Okay, so we have to use those resources at the present in the manner so that resources are also available for the future generation. Okay, we are using the resources at present. Okay, so we have to use them properly. Okay, in the proper manner, proper sense, in the proper volume, in a very equitable manner, and these resources must not. The quality and quantity of the resources must not be tampered with, must not be made of bad quality or low quality for the future generation. Okay, the future generation that comes after us should also have the opportunity to use those resources. So we have to think about, not only we have to think about the present but also the future. So in that sense, we have to use the resources. Okay, now to just wrap up this video. Okay, so in the end of the video, at this point of time, I just want to give you one or two examples, okay, to help you understand this. For example, the little steps you can also take. Okay, for example, suppose you are at home and then the fan is running, and then you just left home and you have gone, you've gone to soccer, you've just gone for a walk, and you know that you'll be coming back after maybe half an hour, 1 hour. Okay, so when you leave the room, you must always turn off the fan, because you know that there's no one going to be in the room for that long, okay, period of time when you're outside. Okay, so you can just turn off the fan. Okay, sometimes we leave the water, okay, leave the water running, okay, from the tap when no one is using. So we have to just close the tap, just turn off the tap. So this is how we can little things we can do. Okay, and then so that's the conservation resources. Okay, so with this I have wrapped up the chapter, I have completed the chapter. Okay, now I just give you one homework. Okay, so this is geography chapter 1 resources, class 8, as I told you, and you go to page number 6, exercises part. Okay, so page number 6, you go to page number 6. Okay, and then questions number, okay, questions number 1, 2 and 3, exercises 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so you do it in your exercise copy. Okay, and maybe you can send them, you can click the photo, crop them, you click them, and then you can send it on the school's WhatsApp, Facebook, I don't know. Okay, so if I get hold of them, I will correct them, I'll see them, I'll correct them, and I'll get back to you. But you do these homeworks, okay, because when the school reopens, I am definitely going to check your homeworks. Okay, so stay safe, bye.